Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here, very excited. I love coming to rural Utah any chance I get. I grew up in Tooele County for the greater part of my life, and sometimes it's hard being in Salt Lake City, so I really appreciate coming out. The flight was absolutely stunning. The leaves are changing, and I thought, man, I'm really glad to be in Utah. This is the place to be. So thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here today. I'm going to talk to you about the new Office of Energy Development. I think this is something that we'll spend a few minutes on because it is critical. We will be working with you and we'll be in the field. So I will start with what Amanda said. It was created this last legislative session that ended in March. It's House Bill 475. Again, it was sponsored by Representative Barris and co-sponsored by Senator Van Tassel. We are housed within the Department of Environmental Quality, and we are a line item of the governor's budget. As you can see, we're about 140 days old, so we are kind of a new business getting off the ground and getting started. And we're really excited to do so. We feel like industry has really welcomed us. We feel like that we're filling a gap that has been open for some time in the state of Utah to have one voice and one office coordinating things for projects. And what our mission is to progress energy, to move it forward, to get development projects off the ground, to help clear way for hurdles and move on for progress. We are looking to be the single point of contact. We will be developing all energy resources. So this is conventional, unconventional, renewable, and energy efficiency. We're going to help shape and implement policy. That's policy that will come out of the 10-year energy plan, policy that will come from legislators, and policy that maybe industry asks us to push forward. We'll assist industry and citizens alike. Right now we're focusing on getting up and functioning with industry, and then we'll move on to private citizens. We're going to do this through streamlining processes. As you know, when you do any project in Utah, you're dealing with state and federal agencies. Everyone has different processes, different contacts, different rules, different guidelines. We're going to help projects through that process. And then tracking data. I think this one's really important. If you were to say to any state agency or ask questions to any state agency and say, Samantha, how many oil shale projects are in the state of Utah? If 50% of them were successful, how many jobs is that? How many barrels is that? What do the taxes look like? Each office in the state would answer those questions probably pretty differently. So our office will be working to assemble all of that tracking data and information so that we can go to the public and say, look how successful energy is. Look what it's doing for your community. These are immediate impacts. Sorry about that. So as we are a new office, we are going through this business process. You can see it up here. It is a flow chart of what we're doing and where we're at, so you have an idea. The biggest part of this slide I would like you to take back from it is we are in the middle of the process of forming what we're going to do and what our initiatives are. We would like to hear from you. We'd love to have you look at some of our materials, look at some of our strategies, and tell us where we're hitting and where we're missing. The first 4 pieces, as you can see, are mostly done, and I'll go into detail about those. And the last 3 are ones that we'll be working on over the next couple of months. The most important for me is the middle one. It's the toughest one. It's the metrics and targets. Metrics and targets, as you know, coming into a new office are, what should we be measuring? What should we track? What should we show for progress? And so that one we would love to hear from industry on. Our mission and our vision is very simple. We wanted to keep it that way, to serve as the primary resource for advancing energy development in Utah. Very simple. And to provide leadership for a balanced development of those resources and do that through public and private partnerships. For me, that's the most important statement, is public and private partnerships. We will have that in our mission. For economic prosperity, energy independence, reliability, and affordability of our supply. We're going to do that in 5 ways. Again, I'm rushing through this so we can stay on time, but I'd be happy to answer questions later. We are doing it through these 5 areas here: creating and implementing policy, which I've mentioned before; industry assistance, guiding you through regulatory processes, guiding you through economic incentive processes, guiding you through transmission issues; relationship building. We do want to be the central hub and the network for the state of Utah to move forward and to do projects. And so we need to do a lot of relationship building. I think in the last 30 years, the energy office has been broken up several times and put back together. We want this one to be successful, and we know that that has to be through business relationships. Funding opportunities, we are looking for opportunities to help with funding of different projects, whether they're rural or they're in the community. Right now, we receive some of our money for the Department of Energy, but we want to open that basket up to be more diverse. Department of Energy has a certain agenda, but we want to look and see what other areas could we find funding for projects in Utah, whether that's paving roads, putting transmission lines up, getting certain policy pushed through on the federal level. And so our office will be seeking opportunities to find dollars to push our agenda forward for the state of Utah. And then energy education is the last one. For the first year, this is going to mostly be energy awareness. We'll be doing a lot of information on our websites, and then also Division of Oil, Gas, and Mining is going to be doing some education pieces, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So let's talk about staff. This will help you understand kind of the direction that we're going. We currently have about 20 staff on our team, and we'll reduce down to about half of that staff April of next year due to the fact that most of them are funded through the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act dollars. So we will be asking the legislature for support to give our team some depth. We have hired a few new folks, and I'm going to talk about them and have them stand up. Conventional Energy Development Manager, we've hired someone to work on fossil fuels of coal, oil, and gas. Andrew, will you stand up? This is Andrew Bernstein. Andrew will be part of the team, so he'll be focusing on coal, oil, and gas. And our Unconventional Energy Manager, John Nowoslawski, will be working on oil shale, oil sands, nuclear, and carbon sequestration. Andrew will be working for our office mostly, but we'll be doing a cost sharing with Dogum. Dogum will be paying 20% for him and making that investment for Andrew to work for them part-time as well. And then our Unconventional Energy Manager will be funded partly by USTAR. USTAR is making an investment in John doing some things in the field for USTAR. And so we're going to be doing some sharing of employees because we feel like it streamlines processes. We feel like we would make the agencies would be talking to each other more and collaborate more on projects. And there'll be a better understanding, making it smoother for industry. And then our last position, or one of our last ones, is Rural Outreach and Special Projects. USTAR will be allowing me to share an employee with them who's not here today to do rural outreach and special projects. So things that are going on in the rural communities, what do we need to do? He's going to be out in the field talking about it. So I want to thank those partners. I also wanted to mention in my closing comments that this year Lieutenant Governor Bell will be going to the Oil Shale Symposium in Golden, Colorado in October to speak as a main keynote speaker. I will be attending, and as well as John will be attending. So our staff takes your issues and your matters very important. You will see us present at more functions and pushing more of your needs forward. So in closing, I'd just like to ask you if you have ideas or things that you want our office to know about or needs, or if you think there's some shortcomings, we want to hear about them. We want to know about them. We want to meet with you. We want to get them down on paper. We want to put them together, prioritize them, and see where there's some synergies and move some things forward. This next legislative year, Amanda didn't talk about this, but you will see several initiatives in energy moving forward this year. We'd love you to be part of that and have your fingerprint on it. So thank you very much.